I was wondering, is this the last, this is the last message of the series?
This is the last one of the series.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
We are all done. Boom.
All done. Boom. You get all the fun ones. You got the episode 200. And if you're watching on whatever, instead of just listening, we're in a new room.
Yeah, I feel like Northpointe really just brought out the VIP status
for you. Yeah, we just,
we're good.
We're really trying to get you to stay here, but that's all.
Like everybody, I think rigged their March Madness brackets so that I could win all of those.
Yeah, you won that too. That was the other thing.
All of them.
That's pretty good.
Staff got episode 200, and I'm the first one to kick off
the new podcast room. Yeah.
So if you're not watching online and you're just listening to us, you're
missing out.
Like, can you guys stop talking about this new room? That
hey, we're really excited. Shout out to Janet, Andy, everybody who's helped us.
People that worked on
it. Because this was a long project, a long time coming, but it's ready. And there's gonna be some kinks and stuff, I'm sure, along the way, but.
But right I didn't know what to do with my hands in the other room. Where it's like I'm just sitting on a couch. And this is very nice.
Well, now I don't have my notebook. People are gonna think I'm playing on my phone, which we were joking. Yeah, like Angry Birds. That's
Angry
another.
Birds, yeah.
Candy Crush, whatever else.
Whatever it might be.
Well, it was funny when you were talking about giving up your last bite to your kids.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not joking. I just had something like this happen, and I had to go and talk to my husband about it, in another room, because I was like, there was one bagel left, and I've been doing the bagel math throughout the week where okay, if she has one, and then if I have one in the morning, but sometimes she doesn't have one, and so bagel to cream cheese ratio.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was like, if I just eat this really fast out here, she'll be distracted enough that she won't notice that I'm eating a bagel, so then she can't eat the last bagel.
Yeah.
And my husband very, very kindly looked at me and was like, hey, it's in the budget. We could get more bagels. I was like, no, I know. But I'm talking about right now and these bagels and this cream cheese.
And I honestly, I feel like I'm pretty good at letting my kids have some of my food in general. And then there's the moments where it's like you do have that thing that's a little bit more special. And it's in my head, I'm like, I've earned this.
This is mine.
I deserve to have all of this.
Yeah.
And really, it's just me being really selfish in that moment.
Okay, so be honest. Have you ever done that thing where you tell kids, oh, you won't like it, it's spicy? Have you heard of people doing that? Where they'll say, oh.
So we've run into that problem and on different levels. So we had a moment with one of our kiddos where they said something they weren't supposed to say, and we decided, all right, we're gonna do hot sauce as your consequence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we gave him a bite, and he
loved it.
He goes, "What is this?" He goes, "This is awesome."
You awakened a monster, a beast.
So now I have to share buffalo wings, which I love buffalo wings so much, but now he loves them. And so I know when we get buffalo wings, I'm not going to get as many as I used to be able to get because he likes it so much.
Hey, you know what though? Because sometimes that's a good thing, because then when you really want that for dinner, you can be like, oh, hey, we should put in a good word with mom for me, or whatever. I do that all the time. Z knows I'm the weak one. Oh. She knows. She's like, you know what? Be fun if we went out and had mommy daughter time and got some food. I'm just like, yeah, you know what, that would be fun. Sometimes I'm like, you know how to play me. It's just too easy. But
I think as we expand into different types of podcasts, I feel like doing a culinary, just food pod, where we just talk about food with Trent and Sylvia. And we just talk about all of our food experiences. And
then the audience slowly watches us gain weight throughout the series because we're making new food.
The thing that I was laughing about was the shirt that my friend gave me. I totally forgot. I just remembered this analogy. I was going to be like, yeah, and I totally don't fit in that shirt because of the analogy I talked about at the very beginning.
That is what I was going to say, where I was like, wow, trading clothes like that's risky business to be like, wow, it looks good on you. And then you try it on and you're like, it's a little snug on me.
I mean, but guys are different.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah.
So it's holiday weekend this weekend.
Yes,
so there's not, we don't really have any questions, but I wrote down some questions. Okay. This is almost more fun because I just get to
get to ask me what you want to.
And you have to just try to answer the best you can. Right. Actually, you know what? First, before we jump into questions, can you give a quick recap?
Yeah. So as we closed out this particular series, one of the things we wanted to do was we talked about serving inside the church. So this entire talk was about serving outside of the church walls. And so we jumped into the passage in Matthew 25 that talks about Jesus is talking about separating the sheep from the goats. And this is in the final judgment. He's discussing with them, the sheep, all these things that you did in my name. You clothed me when I was naked. You fed me when I was hungry. You opened your home when I was homeless. And then to the goats, he said, hey, you didn't do these things. Mm-hmm. Just the significance of our calling to reach out to those in need. And the sheep are like, well, when were you like that? You weren't hungry. And he said, when you did it for the least of these, you did it for me. So the whole talk centers around this mindset that what we have is God's, and we are to use it to bring people to him and to lead people to him. And so as we are good stewards with our time, money, and resources, we need to use those for his work and for his glory. And so finding ways to, people in your neighborhood, people at the grocery store, people that you are in community with, and have, are kind of in your sphere, we should be looking for chances to tell people about Christ in the way that we love them and care for them. And we all have a way that we are wired and gifted and passionate about in those areas.
Right. And that's what is kind of funny when we talk about this, is because some people probably think like, I don't even know how to do that. And it's like, you have a way. Yes. You might have to find that, but that's what we talked about earlier in the messages, but you do have a way. So one of the things I first wanted to talk about, going back to like the very beginning with the verse from Matthew that you were talking about. I think we have an idea, but who are the least of these? You kind of mentioned it, like there's just these people where you can just do things for them. So really it could be anybody, but if you somebody maybe new to this is like, who the heck are the least of these?
Yeah. I mean, you think of people who are vulnerable and people who are in need. The Bible specifically talks about widows and orphans. You think about people who have lost loved ones that are just in a really difficult place and need somebody in their lives. And somebody who's just in having financial hardship. Some people, and it may not be a major one, it may be a major one, but there may be a way just to love them in that season. And people who are sick, there's a lot that comes with people going through long-term illness and even short-term illness. Something that you have a family that's got a sick kid. It can change everything for that family in the week. What are ways that I can just go love them? It might just be making a meal. Homeless shelters and prison ministry. People who don't think that they are worthy and valuable, for somebody to come along and say, no, you have so much worth and so much value. When you're in prison, you've done something wrong. There's this piece that you think, man, I'm broken. Like, I really made a mistake. You've been caught for your mistakes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And to be told, hey, there's a God who loves you and died for you so that you don't have to live with this shame and guilt is incredible. And so that's why you see some of these different things. It's us being able to go to those people and say, no, you are loved on the same level as everybody else, and I see you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good, because I think, and I could be wrong, but I feel like when some people hear this, they think, oh, so I'm just supposed to give all my money away to every person I see on the side of the road, something like that. And I've even had people where I remember I was younger at a concert or something. We were leaving the concert and somebody was asking for money. I don't know their situation, if they were homeless or what, but I had some extra bucks. So I was like, okay, here you go. Whatever. And the group of people I was with were like, why did you do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is they're probably just going to go buy whatever. And I even told them it doesn't matter what they do with it. I'm just, because what if they really need it? Yeah. It's always easy for us to think what if you mentioned it too. What if they throw it away? What if they break it? Yeah. All this. Yep. That is none of my business. Yeah. I am just going to take care of them, because what if they really do need it? And I could be wrong too, because some people, their ministry is going out and taking care of every single person on the side of the road with, they do the bags with food and everything else. But too, I've noticed it's like when I get like a really strong like pull to like, yep, now's the time.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical to give money to homeless people on the streets for a number of reasons. There's programs and things for them to get plugged into. A lot of them are out there scamming. And that's real. But if God's prompting you, he's prompting you. And I've had some of those moments where I'm like, man, I don't know why I'm supposed to, but I'm supposed to. And so just listening to the Spirit, we may never know what happened with that. It's not for us to know.
Right.
It's for us to be like, all right, God, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And God will do something in you through that process too. It's one of the reasons I talked about good stewardship too a little bit, because we are called to be good stewards. And so there is a foolishness to be like mindless with your stuff. So I think there's an important piece of understanding we're still supposed to be responsible with things. But God also did tell the rich young ruler, sell everything you have and follow me. And so we don't know what God wants to do in some of the different processes in people's lives. So
and that's part of what you're saying too, where you're like, you need to be listening for those promptings because, and two, I'm gonna skip a little bit in my notes, but he said it's a simple step of willingness, not an easy step.
No, that's right.
That was very clear. Yes. It's simple because it's a yes or a no.
Yep.
Like you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it.
Yes.
But it's not gonna be easy and like we've talked about that so many times.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere does it ever say in the Bible like, oh, then your life will be a million times better and everything's gonna be so easy. Actually, it says the opposite.
I know. I always laughed when you hear people like, I just knew God was called and like everything went smoothly. Because like Katie and I, when we first started off, especially like when we moved from Ohio to Maryland, it was just like a nightmare after a nightmare. I mean, like everything about it was difficult.
The move,
everything. I mean, it was just, we lost so much money in the process. We had so much heartache and hardship. And yet we knew because of the heartache and hardship, because it was so ingrained in our hearts that we knew the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Even though it was like, did you make this a little easier for us?
Oh, no.
As you go.
And I tell people that there's so many times just in my story alone or like, anybody's story where it's just like, it's crazy when like hindsight's 2020 where you're like, God was there the whole time. And I think that sometimes when I'm in a hard time or whatever, I like to remember those times where you're like, I'm learning something, like this will be for good.
Yep.
It's just hard when you're in the middle of it, but
you'll make mistakes yourself. You'll make bad choices. You still might follow and be like, we've had moments where in hindsight we're like, honestly, I think God was trying to prompt us. Hey, this is a bad idea. Like some decisions we made in the processes that we were in where you're like, oh yeah, I think if we would have, I think he was trying to say, don't do this. And we just ignored it completely.
Yeah.
and so as a result, you have more hardship, even though we were still following and obeying. Yeah. We made some bad decisions along the way too. So
it is funny because you make the choice to follow God and you're trying your best. Yeah. Like you're just like
Peter tried his best.
Peter tried his best. And that's what I loved when you said that too, is like he was walking with the Savior of the world and he was still making mistakes and tripping and saying dumb stuff. Like he was still doing that because that makes me feel better about myself.
It's so true.
No, it makes me think of a lot of times, but even one specifically, and I'm glad that I think it was Jake probably last week, maybe when we talked about like how things change too. Yeah. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you were called to do this, but now it's time to move on.
Yep.
Because I remember I had just graduated college and I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And I was going between like two things. Mm-hmm. And I really felt like I got the pull to do one thing, but then I'm like, I don't know still. And then I was like, nope, that's it. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I started moving that direction, but things were falling apart. Yeah. So I was like, what the heck? And like looking back, I'm like, I really think that God was just trying to tell me I can make good things happen either way too. Yeah. Like it's not one way or another. Like you feel the pull of going one way, great, do it. But that's why I always say, as long as you're doing everything for the glory of God, I mean,
Yeah, I think I forgot to say this in the second service. I said it in the first service, but there's no better place to be than in the will of God. I mean, and because yes, there's things that are scary, there's things that are difficult, there's exhaustion that comes with it, but there's just this pure joy of, man, God, I see you working in so many ways, and you can't put words to it. You feel it so deep in your soul of just God being God and loving in ways, and you're at the front seat, of it all. But you do sleep well at night because you're so tired and you're so worn out in different ways. But then you wake up, you're like, all right, can't wait to see what today looks like. So.
Oh, gosh. If you don't mind, want to hear more about like foster care and everything and how that was for you guys. And because I'm also in foster care and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it and everything, but mostly just because at the end of the day, you're just working with people.
You are, yeah.
People like, and I mean a ton of people. I mean, the kids, the parents, sometimes other relatives, caseworkers, lawyers. You're working with a team of people pretty much nonstop around the clock. So I just wanted you to talk about how it was for you guys. Yeah.
So when so Katie has always had this calling to do it. And thankfully, I came along and was like, yeah, I'm open to that, and we had talked about it as a down the road thing once our kids are older, because again, God, you don't know God's timing and stuff.
Yeah.
And so COVID came along, there was a huge need, and we found out we could do all of our training online. So stuff that you would have had to do in person. They had said, hey, do it online. So we're like, we could do that. And so we did all of our training, and we knew right away we wanted to do respite care. So respite is short term. You might have a kid for a day, a weekend, 1 or 2 weeks. And we were like, well, we could do that. We can provide it. We keep a kid from having to sleep at a hotel, as they're trying to figure things out. And so we had kind of the age range that we wanted to do, which was the same age range as our kids. And it just started, we had a sibling group right out the gate, and stuff. And it was a boy and a girl. And, it was hard. Yeah. I mean, it was a difficult thing. Actually, no, that's right. We had the boy first. We had some kids more than once.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So we had the boy first. We got him right out of the hospital, right out of the system. First home he stayed in was getting him right out of the hospital. And I think he was 8. And it came with all kinds of, so many stories where we laugh and like, and then he eventually left, went with his foster family, that they found a placement for, ended up with others. I mean, we had sibling groups so many times, more than I expected. But honestly, in the course of a couple of days or a week, you can do just about anything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can handle. It gets hard and it gets difficult. We had a 2-month-old the one time, and our kids at the time were like, I'm trying to think what the ages were, 3 or 4 at the youngest, and then 6, 7 oldest.
Yeah.
When we first started, and we loved it. I mean, it was really hard. It had its hard moment. Like there was times at the end of the week we're like, oh my word, thank you. But then we had this boy come along, and we're like, I think we can do more, and I think we can keep him. And so he became our permanent foster placement and started moving towards where we're going to adopt this kid. And Katie we were pregnant with Oliver at the time. And so we slowly just clearly heard God just say, hey, he's not your son. And just put the brakes on. I mean, you want to talk about like what? Like we had a
wrench in your plan
for months. And that was a lot to process. And little did we know, the case was going to get more difficult and complex. God was getting ready to pull us out from Maryland to come out here to Michigan. All these details started to come along that we were just blown away by. But the fact that we were even willing to adopt at this stage where it's like, we're going to have 5 boys, we were ready for it and we were willing. And we would have never been there had we not just said, yes, we want to do this. And really, like you said, foster care, it's just loving these kids.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you wonder, like, man, did we have an impact on them? But we know we did. And we would have, some of the workers would be like, these kids ask about coming back to your house all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament of us just being willing and having a place that's safe.
Yep.
And speaking Jesus. And like our church family got to know some of these kids. And so they gained a family, not just within us, but the church community that came and surrounded them. That's the depiction of what we want our church to look like. Church to look like is, it's not just one family doing it, it's the whole body surrounding and people who are broken getting to see what that looks like. Yeah.
And I because we're talking about it's being a living sacrifice and giving a room in your home to a kid or multiple kids, it's a sacrifice. Sometimes the kids are great. Like I've had kids that it's so great to have them in the house and they're just a joy. Everybody loves them. Yeah, it's great. You have your ups and downs, but like for the most part, everything's great. It's still a sacrifice though, because it's still going to have to see going to see biological parents reverting back to old attitudes and you're losing stuff. And I guess one of my questions is like, why do you think the idea of being a living sacrifice and giving up things is so hard for us? Yeah. I know that for a lot of people it's control freak you want to be in control. It's your whatever. Is it an American thing? Is it just a human thing? Is it a sin? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, there's so many layers to that question because there's fear that comes in very different ways. So some people just don't feel like they're qualified to do it. Some people, I think they are so afraid to give up time because their time is so precious, already taken by all of these other areas, that there's like, how can I go ahead and add that to everything else? Some of it may be their resources, like financially, they may not be able to, or, to change your pattern of life. I talked about this in the sermon, to change the habit and the routine adds a different layer of stress.
Oh yeah.
Anytime anything gets discombobulated a little bit, it throws routine off. For me, it's like, man, I want my kids to go to bed when I say to go to bed so that I can relax. And when they don't do that, that's hard for me.
Yeah.
Because this is my time to now, that's a selfish way of thinking, but that's the reality of when you do this stuff, we think, well, I'm going to lose rest in the middle of all of this. And I think for me, I used to not know how to rest. And somebody had made the comment, they're like, well, your life's not going to slow down anytime soon. And that was an eye opener because I'm like, well, I need to learn how to rest.
I need to figure this out.
Of all of that, because it's not going to change. We keep having more kids.
Yep.
And so as I started to ask the question, how do I rest? I was like, well, rest comes from Jesus.
Yeah.
It's scripturally. It's like you have to go to the Father to find true rest. And that can be in the midst of the chaos. You can find rest. And so I think people are scared of some of those different commitments. They're scared to give up resources. They like their life the way that it is and don't know how to change it. So.
Yeah. And it's funny because last week I feel like I talked with Jake and we were joking like everybody needs to find a place to serve. You don't know where to serve? Serve at the Fall Fun Fest.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But like truly, like that is a sacrifice. You're giving up a Saturday. And actually, Jacob and I, my husband, we have something else to do that day. And I was
How dare you?
I was like, no, we're going. I'm like, we signed up. We are going. And I'm making balloon animals at 9 a.m. Gosh darn it.
That's right. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great.
It will be fun. But we still need people to sign up.
We do.
So.
And again, if you are like, man, I can't be there, there's ways to give. There's things that we're asking for.
We need help behind the scenes and beforehand too.
Yep.
So, well, thanks, Trent.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else I'm forgetting that like church stuff? We've got groups. We've got
life groups. Plug into life groups. Have these conversations in your life groups.
Life
groups are about to
I'm
launch,
so excited.
But like, if you're wrestling with, man, I know God's calling me to serve. I don't know where or how to serve. Talk about it in a life group. We're encouraging life groups to serve together this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're even giving some resources to help make that happen.
Yeah.
Even just, having a listening ear.
Oh yeah.
To, if you have somebody who is just struggling, where you're like, hey, I just want to bring you a meal. It seems like such a small step, but it's amazing how simple this process really is.
Yeah.
Like it's not an overly difficult thing. You can find ways to do it in the life that you're already living as a baby step.
Oh yeah.
And if you're one of those parents, it's like, man, my kids have so many sports. We'll be listening to the other parents around you about what's happening in their life and find ways to, take their kid to practice.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give you guys a date night. Let me take your kid to practice. I'll bring him home. Like and even if it doesn't work out, the fact that you're asking,
yeah,
goes a long way.
And listen for those little prompts too from the Holy Spirit, because it might be like, wait, I can help with that somehow. Like, and just pray for that, and you'll see a way to do it. Sure. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on Sunday.
See ya.